I'm very glad I remembered. This is something that a lot of people ask me whenever I talk. I like the first time I talked about both was maybe like somewhere in June or July, like that long ago, and it has come up in a few of my videos. And a lot of the times they say, when are we gonna see these Mongolians in MMA? Or recently, just like the sweeps video, I said I talked about the sweeps, and then there was this one guy. I really need your take on this.
Yeah.
There was this one guy that left a comment, nothing against that person, but he said that it looks really good and like it looks hardcore, but it's a little bit of quote unquote bushido, like unless I see it in MMA.
I saw that.
I remember. I remember. I said to that person that these people basically almost conquered the world with their mounted archery and also their wrestling. So not everything is MMA. So this is something that I always try to preach. That so like yes, we all do sparring. We should all do sparring. We should all do sensitivity training. Control anxiety, all that stuff. But self-defense, law enforcement,
yes,
military.
Yes.
Sparring, wrestling, judo, grappling competition, etc. All UFC, all of it is completely different. There shouldn't be just one criteria. It's like, oh, if it works in MMA, then it works for everything. Like, I need your take on Bökh. What's maybe if there's like I don't know if there's an interest for them to go into MMA. I know like they're gonna be very aggressive in it. I'm pretty sure, but also, what's your take on it regarding self-defense?
Okay, so we'll start with MMA. The main thing, so again, you have Bökh in Inner Mongolia and Bökh in Mongolia, and I think the main thing that people have to realize is the availability, what these guys have as options in terms of MMA is very limited. There's no coaches are coming out to the grasslands to teach like Mongolians. You know what I mean? Like I do know a few that are coming up, some Mongolians, especially from ᠪᠥᠬᠡ and stuff like that are a different region, starting to develop and starting to do really well in MMA. But they have to like move all the way to like Shanghai or some big city far away in order, and a lot of them don't really want to do that. But the main reason is, the reason why you don't really see them much in jiu-jitsu and MMA specifically is because those two things are not developed here yet at all. I don't know any MMA schools here. I know one in Hohat and the other one closed, and they're not even like full MMA, right? More like jiu-jitsu with some Muay Thai, right? So that's the main reason why you don't. Do they want to? Of course, they love combat. Like these guys grow up literally just doing it. And it's always funny to me when people say, oh, it's bullshit because this, or it's not MMA, so I don't believe. That's anyone that talks like that clearly doesn't know anything about martial arts, right? MMA isn't the one and all. Like, it's a sport just like anything else with its own rule set and its own kind of mentality. And either you choose to pursue it or not. It doesn't mean your art or what you do is any worse or less. Like Mongolians, I always say, they don't have to prove anything. They've proved it for like hundreds of years. You know what I mean? They've literally like taken over a large part of the world, and they still continue to dominate in grappling. The only thing they don't have is the options to kind of train. In Mongolia, they're starting to have MMA and jiu-jitsu now. So they're able to kind of develop a little bit more. But here, bro, there is none. Like I've seen some of them train. Again, most people here train in multiple grappling styles. They've never done jiu-jitsu, and I see them roll for fun, and they can do it without even knowing. Like, they don't even know what it is, but they'll choke you out. Like, they just know how to grapple. So if these guys learned like from a qualified instructor, you're going to see them starting to dominate in those areas. And I'm not saying this just to be biased. I'm just because I'm here. Like, I've trained in jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean, and sambo a little bit and other styles. And I'm like, yo, I've seen a lot of. I even, my wife is, training Henzo's with John Danaher and Henzo Gracie, and I was there for 1 year, just kind of like learning basics. And I'll tell you one thing, like Mongolians are going to be amazing when they do. So now with self-defense, you got to ask yourself too, like, what do you view as self-defense, and how far, and you know, what's the difference between self-defense and combat, right? Everyone kind of has their own idea, but what I'm trying to say is wrestling, if you're really good at wrestling and controlling people, you don't really need much else. On a street level, what are you going to do? Punch 10 people at the same time? You control people, and also you use a knife. I'm just gonna keep it. I know people don't like when I say certain things like that. It's violent, but that's the truth. Like, no one is out here going to do jiu-jitsu on you on the street. You know what I mean?
Especially
like,
not on the ground rolling.
No. And just the way that the lifestyle is here, like, no one's doing that. You're in the grasslands. What are you in the fucking ground for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. What makes sense is someone has a problem with you, you can grab them and control them. And if you have to strike, you can strike from a position where you can control and still hold them and make sure they don't stab you or something. Because that's the main weapon here, is a knife, right? So this is why wrestling still remains, you know, supreme in this part of the world. But they're very curious. They always want me to show or something with, like, jiu-jitsu. They love MMA. They love it. They always like, oh, UFC, oh, MMA. Like, they love that shit. They just don't have the options. So actually, I know a guy contacted me last week. He's one of the more qualified black belts in China. He's trying to spread it in Inner Mongolia. So people just kind of wait a couple years and you'll see for yourself. But besides that, man, fuck all the haters, man. Like, I invite anyone, I truly, and I mean this, I invite anyone that thinks they really know, come out here and wrestle yourself. See for yourself. Like, you have to be educated on it, and you have to see for yourself. If you don't believe it, just come. Just like the Gracies did. Except I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying, come and see. You'll realize very quickly that who you thought you were, you're not. You know what I mean?
I'm not
think?
I'm not gonna challenge some guy who wrestled his horse for breakfast. You know?
Yeah, like, just come out. Like, listen. And also another thing that this is another kind of topic, but I wanted to kind of just say this because there was I want to make this clear. There's a couple guys in the West that claim that they, like, know Mongolian wrestling or teach Mongolian wrestling or something like that. I don't know. But let's just be clear. Like, it's never been done. Like, there's no classes, there's no school, and there's no one teaching. If there is someone that can show you something, it's some Mongolian, right? But most likely they live in Mongolia. Like, it's just, if they're really wrestlers, right? So with Inner Mongolian wrestling, it's never been done. Everyone here knows it's never been done, and they know I'm the first one that's trying to do it. So if you hear any claims of that, it's just false, and it's people just trying to look to make a quick buck, right? Because the truth is, it's still very new, and I'm excited to be able to, because it's not just me. I'm trying to bring other Mongolians to, like, Europe and America, right?